Ever wondering what goes into interior detailing? Well, today we have a chance to see from beginning to the end of how I do my interior detailing. The various tools that I use, as you can see, drill attachment brush. We got manual brush. We do use, of course, a vacuum cleaner, microfiber towel, bucket of water, various tornado type blowers, and generally my brain, my hand, and my skills that I've acquired over the years. So this is rather going to be a long video because I want to teach you, or I want to show you how I do mine. If you're a detailer and you're watching, yes, I do watch a lot of detailing videos in order to sharpen my skills, to learn new things, and to also learn about the new tools. So if you're a detailer and you're here, you're very welcome. You're at the right place. If you're a beginner, you are definitely going to benefit. You're going to learn a lot from 10 years of experience. I know 10 years is a baby in the detailing world. There are people doing it for 30 years, 50 years. Well, I'm just over 10 years since I started doing it professionally. I bet the fact that I've been cleaning my cars and a lot of cars for free at that time. So, what is my procedure? Well, depending on the condition of the car, but I sort of don't trust anything when I'm detailing. So, my approach is to clean a surface before I get into it. Does that make sense? Let me explain. So as you can see, I'm starting from the passenger side door card, and that is the entry point to the vehicle. The driver side is where I will be working from mainly, and sometimes I go in to spin the car in order to do the other side depending on the location I'm working. In this occasion, I'm working right by the roadside, so I have to do the driver side, doors, door shuts and everything, do the driver seats, do the driver area, do behind the driver area, then do the steering area when I sit down. After doing the driver seat, then do the instrument cluster, the steering wheel area before I go to, before I think about, sitting in and driving the car to spin it around. I'm a bit of a bit phobic, if you like. So this is my procedure. However, it is not wrong to start from any side at all of your choice. In fact, sometimes I start from the back seat, the driver back seat. Most of the time, I start from the driver side, but it doesn't mean that I can't start from the passenger side. I just feel like before I start touching things, I want the things that I'm going to be touching to be clean. So just thought I will explain my procedure to you so that you understand how I go about it. Now I use this towel or a microfiber towel. A lot of people don't think towel is a tool, but towel, microfiber towel, this is a small towel. They are a little bit abrasive, so they are cleaners actually. You can use a towel alone to clean. So don't be afraid to use your towel. Then I'm using the blower to blow any excess thing that's hiding. And the blower is so important in the detailing, even if you're doing this yourself and you're thinking, oh, I don't have a blower, so I can't do it. No, you can't do it. You can use leaf blower, either electric powered or battery powered leaf blower, and you can get the same result as I am getting. But if you don't have it, it's not the biggest deal. I said professional setup, I need my blower to ensure that I am able to blow out any product that I've shoot and is hiding somewhere. I'm able to blow it out. And you'll be surprised, even with the blower, I still manage to leave some areas that are not, that are wet or something like that. People tend to forget that we are not perfectionists as much as you would like to think that as a detailer, you have to be perfect and you would love to be perfect. In fact, we thrive to be perfect, but perfection is almost unachievable. I'm sorry to announce to you, it is never achieved because look at the way I'm spraying this product. I'm aiming it at the door card, but that particles of this spray will end up on the seat or on the instrument cluster or something like that. And if you have a client um, who is very particular about certain things, they will pick it up and they will say, "Oh, the other day you finished the detailing. I found a spray here and there." I get the clients who are particular like that, and I do not blame them. I'm not blaming them for pointing it out for me. I'm just saying that these things are bound to happen. You, as a detailer, you're bound to forget something, is the way I deal with it. For me, I've driven the worst one or the most difficult one. I've driven about 25 miles in order to go and do a correction on a car that I detailed that I forgot. I did forgot to do the glass, to clean the glass, to wipe the glass. And detailing is a hard work and it's physically very demanding. So these are bound to happen, but if you're a detailer, take this advice: always go and correct your mistake. Don't leave it. Don't challenge the clients. It doesn't always happen. Some clients will be happy to say, "Oh, correct it the next time you're here." But if the clients want it corrected, you have to go and correct it. It's part of the game. It's part of customer service. It is your mistake. You just have to admit that you have made a mistake. So you go and correct it. It's as simple as that. You might not like it. You might be super tired. But if you don't go and clean it or correct it, you might lose your client. So you weigh the balance. So this interior detailing was a new car. My clients have bought this car and they have decided the right way that they don't like certain things they are seeing. They are seeing fingerprints and mucky stuff here and there, and they are disgusted by it. So they have requested or they have asked me to take care of it. So I'm taking you through the procedure of me doing this new car detailing. When I say new car, I don't mean brand new from the showroom. I mean new as in you have just acquired it. Mostly slightly used cars, what we call second-hand cars. And I know I have said it in several of my videos, like I'm a bit beginning to sound like a broken record. I know, but it is super, super important to detail the interior thoroughly. Get a deep cleaning of your interior, whether the dealership you're buying it from have told you, "Oh, we've detailed it, we've done it, we've got this and that on it." I personally will not buy it. I will go ahead and pay a detailer like myself or any other detailer if they work as detailers to super cleanse the interior for me, because you just don't know. You just don't know what the previous owner have done in it, how they've used it, how they've used the interior of the vehicle. And I've seen a lot of things as a detailer. I've seen a lot of things, from blood to whatever liquid to whatever powder to severe nicotine smell to, you know, various smells to mold and all sorts. And this is why it is super important that you get this service. Add another 120, 150 to the price of the vehicle to ensure that this detailing is done, in order for you to be safe, because there are germs in with everybody. Everybody have got germs around them. But what you don't want is to pick up someone else's germs. And even if the car smells wonderful and all that, it is still important for you to ensure that you are removing the previous owner's germs from it. And yeah, you see the various tools I'm using. I love tools and gadgets. And as you can see, I'm using all sort of method. I don't know about you, but I can tell the color of this cream interior, beautiful cream interior, is beginning to change. And if you look, if you look at the side there, you can tell how grimy this brush is taken from the surface of the leather. And look at the color of the towel changing from white to brown. And yes, I chose this towel in order for us to see visually how dirty this is. I don't know if you can notice the difference between where I have detailed and where I haven't. So yes, a combination of tools, the drill attachment and the brush, all of them are important for me in my detailing arsenal. I decide what tool to use. The good thing is I have all the tools that I need as a professional. So, I mean, you don't have to use flex drill. You can use any drill at all of your choice. There are budget drills out there. Or you don't have to use drill at all. When I started detailing, I was not using drill at all. I was just using the brush. And even now, sometimes I just don't even whip out my drill. I just go ahead and use my brush, depending on the situation. But on this occasion, I chose to use the drill bit. And please pay attention, don't press too hard. Leather is very funny. These leathers are not natural leathers. They are synthetic leathers, so they are a bit funny. Some leathers, or most leathers, have got color in them, and therefore you have to be very careful in order not to breach the surface or to cause any abrasion to the surface. Keeping the area moist and making sure that you are being gentle where you have to be gentle, and you're being cautiously aggressive where you can't be aggressive. So it's all a matter of using the least aggressive method before increasing the aggression as you go. But there was no need for me to make any aggression. As I always say, it's better you go over your work several times rather than try to hit the first time and try to correct everything the first time. Detailing is a patient game. You cannot be aggressive right from the beginning. You have to be able to gauge and tell when you can be aggressive and when you cannot be. So a lot of things happen in detailing, and as a professional detailer, I've met various lovely clients. I've met various not so nice clients that will always find fault in whatever you do. And sometimes there's a lot of disclaimer to manage the client's expectation. It's very important for you to explain to the client that you are going to improve the condition, but you're not going to make it look perfect. And this is very important to do, because at the end of the day, you're not working with a brand new seat. Like these leather seats I'm doing, these seats are not brand new. So if I don't tell the client, they might be expecting me to turn it into a brand new interior, but I don't have that magic wand yet. So it's very important to communicate clearly. Usually what I do is I inspect the condition of the leather. Let's say this interior, I'll inspect it roughly, and then I will tell the client if I will be able to improve the interior, let's say up to 80%. I tell the client that I will improve it up to 50%. I will make it look better up to 50%. In my head, in my professional head, I've given myself that 30% allowance, that if I'm not able to achieve the 30% and I'm able to achieve like 60, 70%, I am always putting a smile on the client's face, because he only expects 50% improvement. So that's the way I work. On this occasion, I see the leather. I've dealt with so many of these leathers before, and I knew that I was able to I will be able to improve it by 85 to 90%, and with the exception of the parts that are like wear and tear. With the dirt, I could see the dirt shining, and the brown patches, I could see it. And my goal was to ensure that I'm able to hit all of them and put a smile on their client's face. But if you go about it the other way and say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna make it look very nice," and you're not managing the client's expectation, then they might be disappointed. So this is my strategy, and that is why my clients are always like, "Wow, how did you do it?" And I'm like, "Well, I tried my best." And they're like, "Wow, you did more than..." They're always full of praises. For the majority of, about 90% of my clients are very happy with the work I do. And I never aim to achieve total perfection. I know it doesn't exist, but I will always push to make sure that I achieve the utmost, and that puts a smile on my face. I know we're working for money, but the satisfaction, the client satisfaction, and the client being so satisfied that they even tip me is what I'm looking forward to. That's nice surprise, and that's part of my motivation for doing detailing work. So as you can see, I try to go wherever my hand can reach, and if my eyes can see a dirt, then it's not staying there. There's no set procedure per se, but if my eyes can see it and my hand can reach it, it's coming out. And this is why we as detailers, we charge more, because we're not like car wash or your average valeter who is just standard cleaning it, like wipe it with. You see how many times I've gone over one area? About 3 times. That's because my judgment and my head is telling me that there is still dirt there, and that dirt need to come out. And if I have to spend 5 minutes on a little area just to be satisfied that I have been able to move the dirt from there, that's what's going to happen. So the charge is inclusive of all of these. And to be fair, most of the time, myself personally, I don't know about all the detailers, but myself personally, if I estimate a job to be 2 hours, I'm always spending about 2.5 hours, always guaranteed. And that is that half an hour is in order to satisfy myself, let alone the client. Sometimes I feel like I have undercharged the client, but I never go back on my words. Sometimes I do express it to the client, and I'm like, it was worse than I thought, but it's okay. And sometimes I get clients who offer to, they tip me in very good faith for the amount of time and effort they've seen that I'm putting in. They know that I've put in a shift, and they sort of give me a heavier tip than normal. So, if you're a detailer, what do you think about my method? What do you think, or what would you do different from my method? And if you are a car owner or a client of mine, or someone who is thinking of doing this new car detailing because you're acquiring a new car, what do you think of this kind of detailing? This detailing interior took me well over 2 hours. My estimate was 2 hours. I think it was nearly 3 hours that I spent on this car, because the more depths you go, it's very difficult with like the areas I'm doing, cluster areas. Is quite difficult because some of these debts are so hiding in places where they just don't want to come out. So as you can see, I'm using all the methods. I'm using the tornado blower, and I'm using the towel to clean it, and then I'm using the vacuum cleaner to vacuum it. And then I'm spraying product to ensure that I'm wiping off all the surface. This product you're seeing there is a disinfectant. There is a disinfectant in there. There is a cleansing agent cleaning the dirt, and there is a deodorizer in there. So there are 3 components in there that are vital to what I'm trying to achieve, so just see how we go about it. It's very interesting. If you're a car owner, just appreciate what the detailer goes through to make your car interior smell like it should, to take off this bad smell from the inside of the vehicle, and make sure that you are going to drive a super clean car, hygienic car that will, look after yourself and your family without you, catching any disease or something. As you can see, I went over the pillars and made sure that all those areas are cleaned, even the roof, using all sorts of brushes, different brushes. And it's important to have all those different brushes. There is no one tool solve it all kind of tool when it comes to interior detailing. And that's how my setup is anyway. So I hope you're learning something too. And this particular detailing, I had to correct something because the owner was very observant and observed that there is some liquid in the vent areas, but you literally saw what I did. I sprayed product in the vent areas, and even though I blew it with a blower, I was still able to leave some mucky stuff there. The muckiness is coming from the product and it's not the previous muckiness, because as you can see, I went over all these parts, making sure that I'm taking off any germs that is lacking there. But as I said in the beginning, we are not perfect. We do, miss a bit. Like people say, you miss a bit. We do miss a bit. That actually happens. But it's the way we respond after missing a bit that matters. So what you're witnessing is interior detailing in which I'm taking off any dirt, any grime, any of the previous owners' germs, in order to ensure that you do not take something that is not good for your health when you purchase a new car. Let me lambast the retailers a little bit, because admittedly I do retail job, and if you're my retail client, by retail I mean the dealership, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to bash them or anything. They are selling cars, and whatever it takes for them to sell their car, that's what they're gonna do. They're just gonna sell their car. And if you're going to buy a car, you are looking with your eyes. You're not interested in things like, the germs, the this and that and the other. You're interested in what you see. And retailer will pay me half what an individual client will pay me to do a quick cleanup for him, so he can sell his car, so that his car will look neat, so that the outside of his car will look nice, so that the interior will look cleaner. They will not pay for me to fumigate the interior. They will not pay for me to deodorize the interior. They will not pay for me to do what I'm doing, like paying attention to the instrument area, making sure I'm disinfecting all those areas. Retailers will not pay that money, because for them they're just selling a car. And even when they said they have done it, I personally will take it with a pinch of salt. That's my personal opinion. And that's not me blaming them. That's just me saying that they are selling the car. They are not interested in any other thing. They are only interested in selling the car to you. So it is your responsibility as the car owner, as a new keeper, to get a detailer to do a super interior detailing for you. I call this super interior detailing, and yeah, depending on the size of the car, between 120 and 150 pounds, I think it's 100% worth it to have these done to your car before you start using it, just to have peace of mind, especially if you have children and you're going to be traveling with your children in your car. Then it's very important to consider doing this kind of detailing, because children will touch and put things in their mouth, and just ensure that the interior is super clean before you start using it. Yes, as you can see, I tried to blow all the excess water from the vents, but like I said, I missed a bit, and it wasn't a big deal. I was able to correct that bit the next day. I think it was the next day or the day after, but it's the way I deal, or the way we should deal with mistakes, that that matters really, because they are going to happen. You can see I've cleaned that area. This is the second time I'm going to clean it, because I wasn't satisfied with the first cleaning. Like visually, if I could see something, then I have to go back and clean it. This is detailing. This is detailing. It's not just valeting, it's detailing. I'm making sure that I'm not leaving anything untouched. And even when I touch it, if I'm not satisfied with it, I'll just go ahead and go and touch it again. This detailing, it's all in the details. It's important to ensure that you've got the detail coming out. This occasion, I'm removing dirt, I'm removing grime. The inside of this car felt a bit grimy, and therefore, if I can feel the grime, I'm going after it. That's just the way it is for me, personally, anyway. And I think that's what detailing is about. Like, it's in the word. So if you can't go this extent, then I really think that you should consider something else, like maybe valeting, because if it's not in details like these, then it's short of being a detailer. It has to be like this. You have to go after the dirt. I've seen a lot of people using foamy interior product. Whilst it looks very good on the eye, and this is my opinion anyway, I'm not bashing anyone. I don't know all the products that are out there, and I don't know how effective they are. But this is my take on that. If you see a lot of foam, to me, it is easy for it to ignite whenever water touches it. The product I'm using for my interior doesn't foam, and I have used the foamy stuff before. And the thing with me is I always use the product on my car first, in order to be 100% sure that it's gonna work on the client's car. And this is my personal experience of the foamy interior detailer. Anytime there is water that touches any of the surface that the foam has gone, it sort of recharges the soapiness, and it just doesn't go away. For me personally, I've had experiment where my van, which is sitting right in front of this vehicle here, I've put in foamy stuff at one part, and intentionally sprinkle water on it and realize the foam is like the soapiness is being charged just by water touching it, whereas it's not the same with this kind of interior detailer that I'm using. I'm able to literally wipe off everything, and it feels like, once it dries, it dries. And I've not used every interior detailer, so I am not bashing the foamy ones. I'm just explaining my experience with the foamy one. And again, it could be that the product I use was not a good foamy interior detailer. As you can witness, I'm going over everything, like literally wiping every surface to ensure that I'm cleansing the interior. This is a new car detailing, and as you can see, I'm going over every bit. Now, I could have done the top before coming to the dash, because as I spray the product on, some of the there will be some fallout or some excess products falling on the dash again that I've cleaned already, and that can be counterintuitive sometimes. But sometimes I have to go back and re-wipe it again. It's just the nature of the beast. Sometimes that happens. I don't always follow the same procedure. I follow to the most part, but sometimes it's just not possible. I mean, just the way you're working, so long as you can remember your footsteps and go back and do the correction if you make a mistake. Can't reiterate enough, detailers, we do make mistakes like every trade. We do make mistakes. It's just that you have to go back and correct your mistakes at the earliest opportunity in order to keep the peace between yourself and your client. So, yeah, what is your experience with a detailer? If you are a car owner and you've had a detailing job and you're watching this, please, I'd like to know your encounter with a detailer. What really annoys you about detailers? Because a lot of people overhype this detailing. Detailing is a hard work. It's a specialized kind of service, and it's expensive. It's not cheap. So as a client, when you pay for something, you want to get your money's worth. And if you feel like you're not getting your money's worth, yes, of course you have the right to complain. And for us detailers, if you're watching, we should respond as soon as possible, whether it's a one-off detailing procedure or is a client. We still have to do the correction, and that ensures that we keep our clients, or even if we don't keep them, in our own conscience we know we've done our bit. And for me, it's just peace of mind to know that I've done what I'm supposed to do. Can't satisfy everyone, but by all means I will do my best to keep everyone happy. If you're a detailer, do tell, have you been involved in some disagreements with your clients, and why? Myself, I have been in some disagreement with my clients, but I didn't allow it to escalate. What I did was I apologized and walked away peacefully, knowing that I wasn't going to work for this client again, because it was almost impossible to satisfy. And yes, you meet people like that who will be impossible to satisfy. The main thing is know when to walk away, and know when to stop the argument and be like, okay, you win. Even it's not about winning, but just keep the peace and stay professional all the time. Don't lose it. I've never lost it with clients before. Been in situations where clients have been smart on me, simply put. But it's okay. I don't feel the need to argue with the clients. For me, it's important not to argue with the clients. Whether I agree with them or not, I just keep peace and always walk away peacefully, with my conscience peacefully. And whether I decide I'm not going to work for the client again, or the client decide not to call me again, it's irrelevant. I just want to walk away from every job peacefully, and that's how I've done it. There was a time when I did a job for a client, and I had to use some products that I have purchased, and the client wasn't satisfied. It was a touch-up paint, and I used Dr. Color Chip, and the client was not satisfied. So I had to refund their money to them, and took a loss for the team. You have to take a loss. You have to be prepared to take a loss, because sometimes you take a win as well. So much as losing is painful, you have to be prepared to take a loss. And never got the client back, but the good thing is I was at peace with myself, that I was able to smoke the peace pipe with the clients and move on. If you're a detailer, please, clients and car owners, close your ears, block your ears. If you're a detailer, who is your most annoying client? I don't mean name them. I mean, what happened? What's the scenario? Just trying to make conversation as we watch DetailingLaw detail the interior of this vehicle to bit. What was your most annoying situation with a client? Awkward situation with a client? As I said, mine was just that I just didn't continue the conversation. That's not because I'm afraid or anything. I have even walked away without taking my money or taking payment for a service I rendered, because I realized that the client didn't want to pay. And I was able to read it after I've done the job. He came and he started criticizing straight, looking for fault and and I was like, you know what? If you're not satisfied with the work, it's okay. You don't need to pay. I was like, no, I'm not trying to not pay. I said, yeah, I know you're not satisfied with it. And I've definitely given my best. I can't give any more. But it's not a problem if you don't feel that you should pay for this service today. It's fine with me. There's not going to be any problem. You keep your money. It doesn't really matter. I've spent 3 hours here detailing the inside of your vehicle, but you're still not satisfied. That is fine. Don't worry about it. They're like, no, no, I'm not trying. I said, no, I understand. It's fine. Just don't worry. It's fine. It's one of those things. They're like, oh no, but it's not good. But it's not good. But they still didn't force to pay me. I'm like, okay, well, you got my number. If you want to pay, um, just message me and I'll send you payment details and make the payment. I never got a message back, but I thought I wasn't going to get a message back, and that was the end. Sometimes you take a loss for the team. That's all I would say. Take a loss for the team. It's hard sometimes to keep quiet and not say anything, but trust me, as a detailer, I'm sure most of us are doing it as, you know, self-employed, and therefore, you know, you are you have to think like a businessman as well. You have to take a loss. You have to think like, okay, if I am to fight this client for my money, um, what's gonna happen? I just avoid that. It's fine. 99% of my clients do pay me. 95% of them are totally satisfied. Maybe 5% of them are like 50-50, and maybe just a little percentage are just not satisfied. And I still don't blame the clients. I feel like I just can't satisfy them. Maybe another detailer can. So, we do have that freedom to make choices. And that's just the way I think. So I always walk away not being upset about anything. This detailing, I thought the back seats wasn't too dirty, but it was equally quite dirtier than I thought. And that's what I said, that sometimes we undercharge, and then we realize that the work is more than is meant to. What would you do if you undercharge a job and it takes you like twice the time? What would you do? Would you negotiate back with the client, or would you um, rather just do it and mention it just a little bit to the client and see what they say? What would you do as a detailer? And if you're a client, what would you do if your detailer, if you yourself, your detailer tells you, I'm going to be 2 hours on this job, and then the detailers tend to be 4 hours, and after doing the work, you see them doing the work. You don't see them like chilling and pretending they're working, but you see them working constantly for 4 hours, and then they come and explain to you and say, oh, I know I charged you £100, but usually the work I've done, I should be charging £200 because I never realized that there was so much work that needed to be done. If you're a detailer, would you go back to the client and renegotiate, or are you going to keep quiet over it, or are you going to explain to the client that you spent 4 hours, so instead of £100, they should pay you £200? Which one would you do? I know what I would do. I know what I do normally. I have a policy that I will never renegotiate. With the exception of if when I speak to the client, they have sent me pictures or they've given me a description of what is going on with the car, or what the problems are. And I attend and realize that what they've explained to me is not the same thing that I am seeing. In that instant, when I come and visually inspect the car and done a few tests, I can say, oh, I'm sorry, this car will take, I think it would take twice the time. So I'm afraid the charge I gave you on the phone was always a provisional charge. I always try to manage the customer's expectation. So when I speak to you on the phone, I'll say, as you've described to me, or with the picture I'm seeing, we are talking about £120, for instance. If I come and the job is double that, I make sure that I let you know before I start. It's very important that I do that personally, because I do not want a situation where I come and I do it and then I'm telling you, oh, it's not 120 anymore, it's 240. I would rather negotiate with you before I start, renegotiate with you before I start the work. And if we cannot come to a compromise or an agreement, then we can walk away without heckling each other or without disagreeing, because there are a lot of jobs like that. And sometimes I just get carried away. Like, I agree to do, like, I agree to do something small because that's what the clients. I don't get rid of clients. Like, I'm not gonna say, oh no, I'm not gonna do it at all because it's gonna take me 2 hours. If the client is like, okay, I just want you to clean just this driver's seat, and just clean the driver's seat, because I can't afford the amount you're saying. So just clean the driver's seat and just go over the rest of it just a little bit, not as intense as deep cleaning as you do the seat. I work with the clients. I will work with the clients, but the problem is I end up not being satisfied. So I end up in a situation where I do the full detailing anyway and tell the client, it's all right, just pay me what. I mean, I don't have to do it. And yet there are situations, occasions where I will do exactly what the client says if I don't have the time, if I have more than one detailing. But if I have the time, it's very difficult for me to do half work. It's very, very difficult if I have the time. If I don't have the time, then it's different. And I tend not to say, oh, either I do it all or nothing. No, that's me not being business minded. I'll do the bespoke way that the customer want me to do. That's exactly what I will do. If I can go above and beyond, I will do that. But if not, say for instance, this client says, oh, I want you to just detail the driver's seat and the dash area, because I'm a single person and I'm the only one who is ever going to sit in this car. I just want my seat to be clean and my steering and my instrument cluster to be clean. How much would you charge me? And I say, all right, just your seat, right? Just your sitting area, yeah? Okay, £50. If I charge that and I can spend 1 hour on just one seat and the sitting area, I'd rather do that than to say, oh, I can't do that. I always do the whole interior and this is how much I charge. Nah, I don't think it's going to be a good business model for me. I am flexible, so I work with what the client says. What would you do in that situation? What would you do? Detailing law, I know I've been going on for a while. If you like the content you're seeing and you want to see more, please give us the like. If you are feeling very generous, do subscribe because it's free to subscribe, right? And when you subscribe, you're encouraging me to give you more videos. I mean, doing video is not easy. Doing the YouTube video is not easy. I do enjoy doing it because I've also learned a lot from YouTube. Everything I'm doing now with my detailing, I learned it from YouTube. But I do learn it. I did learn it from YouTube, but I've added and modernized it. So if you ask me who I don't have a boss. Actually, I do have so many bosses. I have a lot of very good detailers that I follow, like Mike Phillips. He's one of my favorite, if not my, it's probably my all-time favorite detailer. I just love him. I just love him from when he was in detailing world and all the places he's moved to. I've almost followed him, and I still follow him. That's why I like Flex. He's actually one of the reasons why I like Flex. I use the Flex detailing equipment because he loves them too. So detailing on the streets is fun, can be fun, and but you just have to be persevere. It's not made for everyone. Detailing is super intensive. It's very labor intensive, so it's not for the lazy ones, to be fair. So going back, hoovering, brushing, blowing products, just repeating, visually inspecting, and you are still possibly going to miss a bit. you know you are possibly going to miss a bit. If you're a detailer and you're watching, tell me, have you missed a bit before? And how did you deal with it? Detailing Law, thanks for watching. If you've watched, we are nearly 1 hour into it, and I know you've heard a lot of stories, and I would like to hear from you. If you're a detailer, what tools do you use? What is your method? Do you if you're doing like you're cleansing a seat, do you do that before you vacuum clean, or do you vacuum clean before, or do you use the blower? When I say blower, I mean the air, like the tornado blower. What tools do you use that I haven't used? And I am very open to learning and taking other options, other people's opinion on board in order to improve myself, because you can't know it all. I'm not a know-it-all. I don't know everything. I just believe in my process, and if I see another process that someone is using, I will definitely try it, but it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to adapt that process if my process works for me. And that doesn't say that that person's process is not a good process. It just means that it's their process, it's working for them. My process is working for me too. I tried their process and I'm thinking, nah, my process is still more efficient to me. So thanks for watching. I know it's been a long one, but I was determined to make this long so that everybody will see what kind of tools I use and how I use it. Owner of this car have told me that they've got new carpets coming, new floor mats coming, so I shouldn't bother too much detailing the mats. So I decided to just blow them, didn't spray any product on them, because according to her there are new ones coming, so there was no need for me to spend too much time detailing it, and that's exactly what I did. Even that, say I'm going to the extent of making sure I blow it, and I'm now sucking all the dirt from it. I think I sprayed product on it just to make sure that I'm disinfecting it before putting it back into the plane's vehicle. Detailing law contact number is 07394 079904. Yes, I did spray it. I sprayed the carpet to make sure I disinfect it before I put it back in the vehicle. I even went ahead and brushed it. Even though the owner said it's expecting a new one, I thought, I have to, I have to complete the job. I know usually I put it on a table, on like a bench thing that's in my van, but on this occasion I was standing and doing it. And when you're doing it, when you want to do a quick detailing on certain parts, you're allowed to do that. Let me know what you think of the video. Let me know if you want to see some more long videos like this one, and I will surely consider letting it happen. Thank you very much. Recently I have done a lot of videos, and you won't believe this channel is nearly 10 years old. Nearly 10 years, and we only have 233 subscribers as I speak, as I did this video, as I'm recording this video. So please, if you haven't subscribed yet, help us grow. We've been in the system for a while, but I've been inactive. I'm also part to blame, but now I am more than happy to share a lot of my processes. I'm more confident than 10 years ago when I was also learning. I was learning and keen to share what I've learnt with everyone. But now I think I know enough to, to be able to teach this subject. What do you think about my process? Please let me know, and let me also know how you do it, and let me know what you have learned from mine. For the do-it-yourselfer, the weekend warrior who would love to do it himself, you can use domestic stuff to do these brushes and all that, your kitchen brushes that you've retired that you're not using again. You can use them. Just be careful of how aggressive the brushes are, because if you are not careful, you will scar the surface of these delicate leathers. I always do a test spot before I go ahead and do the whole lot, and I've got different brushes for different parts of the vehicle. No, it's been a long video, but I just want you to see what's going on. Mind you, I've sped this video, I've fast forwarded it about a quarter. So what you're seeing is not the real speed. It's been fastening a little bit. So you can imagine we've done 1 hour already. I did spend a lot of time on this detailing, as I spend a lot of time on the detailing. I'm using my GoPro Hero 3, Hero 13, yeah, Hero 13 to do this. What do you think about the quality of the video? I try to make sure that my hands are free and I can work fast and show you the point of view, exactly what is going on, even though sometimes not adjusting the camera properly means you miss a bit, but you get most of it. You get what's going on. Another different brush in action, just making sure that I can use the various tools that I have as and when. Recently, I've started doing projects in collaboration with someone who buys me a car, and then I detail it. I do a little bit of mechanical work on it. Recently, I've done the Audi TT Mark II, which is a dream to drive. That car is still available for sale if you're interested. Then I've got a Ford Focus with a straight pipe, which means it makes a lot of noise to work on. The idea is to have the freedom to do as much as possible on each car that I do as a project car. So the Audi, for instance, I've done the servicing, changing oil, spark plugs, filters, and stuff like that. And then I have studied the paint work. I've given it 2-stage polishing, and I've used a sealant on the bodywork, which is making it, look, and which is giving it the protection, some protection. It's not as much protection as the ceramic coating, but sealant is a good protection. It's not the topmost. So we have wax, sealant, and then ceramic coating. And yeah, I will determine what kind of level of care we give to each car. Hopefully we'll get some interesting cars to have as project cars. So watch the space. I'm just looking for those projects where I have the freedom to do a lot to the car and share it with you. If you haven't watched the Audi TT video, I'll put a link up there. Please have a look and check there's a whole playlist for it. I think I've done more than 15 videos of this Audi TT, from servicing to polishing to washing to cleaning. I'm sure you get something there that will entertain you, infotain you, information and entertainment. Infotain. Detailing law, this is how we do it. Trying to put up a lot more videos, so please subscribe to support the channel. We've got a few slides to come and then we'll end it here. I think I'm gonna end it here. It's over an hour now, and having a feel of this leather, it feels so good. It's not shiny, it's not too smooth. The leather has to be right in the middle. So I decided to use this nice dresser What I like about these and how I'm applying it is it doesn't make it shine. It's almost like I can make it like a matte kind of, it's like a matte kind of surface, and as you can see, it's not making it shine. And when I wipe it, it just gives it that nice feel rather than a shine. And it gives it some kind of protection. As you can see, I went over the vents, but I still managed to miss a bit. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna end the video here because it's been way over 1 hour. If you stick around, please subscribe, share the video, and we'll see you in the next lesson. Thanks for watching Detailing Law. This is how we do it.